I had to kind of shine a light on things that maybe I didn't want to admit to myself. Once I did, like once I admitted to myself what changes had to happen, and once I admitted to myself what lies I was telling myself, what narratives I was telling myself, I all of a sudden felt like the sun came out. This huge weight was lifted. Excited, actually, for the future and hopeful. It's almost like the universe said to me, what took you so long? We've been pushing you. Thank you for finally realizing it. And it almost like I was treading up water. It felt so hard. Like everything's just been so hard. Pushing for something. And it's like I finally just let go. And like I'm tubing down the river. And it feels nice. Like I'm kicking back and the sun came out with a hard seltzer.
Everything is connected. Energy, science, quantum physics. This beautiful practice of being rooted in the frequency of love, light, and unity. We are inviting the collective consciousness to awaken and ascend.
Hello. Welcome to Rooted Frequency, where we ground down into the beautiful light that is you, one frequency at a time. I'm your host, Tiffany Haney, and this is a Patreon roundtable. I clearly am dealing with Mercury retrograde right now because I had issues we've been trying to figure out, and some people who may pop on that were on and then fell off, and so I don't know what's happening. But I do have Jen here, and she hasn't been on a Patreon in a while, so I'm excited to have her. So we'll just see where the evening takes us. And it is, a new energy right now. I'm excited to have this conversation because I know I've been feeling like there's a big cosmic shift happening, and we need to talk about how to align ourselves and how to stay on track. So I definitely am feeling, as we move into spring, there's this theme of release, renewal, rejuvenation, and shedding the old to make room for the new, which I was actually texting Jen about earlier, about how a lot of people anyways, seem to be being pushed into a uncomfortable situation in order to shed, let go of something, someone that they need to let go of, or a work in, I've seen a lot of people coming into the shop that have been either choosing to leave their jobs or even losing their jobs, but being forced to make a big change, and in general, when that happens, it's because we've been kind of stagnant and we need a little shove. And what perfect timing to do that coming out of winter for spring and having the universe give us that little push. So, Jen, how have you been? And are you feeling any of these shifts in your own energy?
Oh, every day. Sometimes like a roller coaster. I'll wake up in the morning, feel good, did a guided meditation, and then by the afternoon I'm like hitting a wall. And evening coming back up. It's just been it's been crazy. But I know what I'm not doing, and I'm not grounding enough. And that's what I wanted to bring up, like stressing, like grounding. I have not been paying attention to my lower chakras. I felt that, like, that came to me last night.
Absolutely.
Like,
I just
yeah,
did like a healing session yesterday with this lovely woman, and she was experiencing blockages, definitely like lower chakras. And we did a lot of affirmation work. And it's interesting because I'm kind of seeing a theme of sending love to in order to ground. Like instead of just thinking about like plugging into the earth and grounding down through the earth, it's like being okay with where you are now and giving love and gratitude to where you are now. And most people I know, including myself, are kind of dealing with some stuff right now. So it's difficult to be like, I love where I'm at when you're not in a great place. But I think that's part of the challenge, you know? So, yes, root chakra, a call to ground, but I think ground into who you are, where you want to go, and ground into the power of your energy, you know?
yeah. Like get into the, like you said, like my power and my truth, like accepting that and just letting it go, letting everybody see it. That's where I'm heading. Like I just had a conversation with my mom a couple hours ago. I was over there telling her a lot of this stuff actually. And she actually was open minded and listened. And I was always afraid to tell her these things. But she was like so accepting, you know? So
Mm-hmm.
I learned from that, like, I can't just, assumptions are bad. Making assumptions, right? In general, when the outcome it could be completely different today. Does that make sense? Like, there's just being in your own self and truth, and
I like
and
that.
then being accepted, But sometimes you chase after approval, your whole life, whatever, with if parental figures, you know, and your fear blocks you, and well, there's no more fear. I'm not doing that anymore, right? We need to step into it. They don't like it. You know what? That's okay, right?
Exactly. That approval needs to come from within. And I mean, that's always,
Exactly.
you know, the unfortunate answer that I think people always want a better answer. It's true. It's like being in the flow and being okay with allowing the universe to take the reins. So being okay with all outcomes. So being okay with relationship outcomes and life situations. So yeah, it's like this beautiful kind of connection between flow and grounding, you know, which is, of course,
Yes.
interesting as we come up to the full moon that's this week.
Yeah.
So,
Friday, right?
yeah.
The yeah.
Well, isn't it Thursday?
Eclipse.
I think it's Thursday because we have a moon flow
Or is
on
it
Thursday,
Thursday? Oh, okay.
unless I have my days mixed up. You know, this daylight savings threw me for a loop. Like I first off, I
Yeah.
always know it's coming and I had no idea on this one. And like nobody reminded, and usually like, you know, my mother-in-law and like my mom are always like, "Don't forget to turn your clocks," you know. And I nobody said anything. And usually when they say that, I'm like, "Yes, I know." But this time I didn't know. And even like my husband got up this morning and I was like, "Did you know it was daylight savings time?" And he's like, "No." And I talked to a bunch of people who thought that. I don't know what's going on. We're like fastly switching timelines. Like that is
That's
definitely
what I was just
happening.
gonna say. Like I feel like I'm living like during the day, like I'm experiencing several timelines. Like, and it's surreal. Like, like this is the first time I felt that time doesn't exist. We've talked about that so much. Time. I've never really like actually felt that though until the past couple days,
It's been insane.
and I
And even
and I
like
don't know why.
at my son's like flag football thing today, there was just some guy behind me, older gentleman who I guarantee, you know, if I was a betting woman, is not spiritual, like, you know, your run of the mill, like typical Midwestern older gentleman. But he was
Yeah.
like, somebody had said something, I was overhearing, and somebody was like saying something about daylight savings, and he said, I swear that that there was no more daylight savings. Didn't we pass a law that we weren't going to do it anymore? And I kind of thought to myself, as all these timelines merge, maybe he came from a timeline that did.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they did talk about that, but they talk about it every year.
Yeah.
During getting rid of it.
Yeah, but he was convinced. So who knows,
Wow.
And I don't know. It's been, there's something going on. And it's like, maybe, oh yeah, I just thought. So you know how like at the end of the year and into the like January, we were all saying that we could feel something coming. We could feel something coming. Well, like I don't know about you, but right now I don't feel like that. Like I don't necessarily feel like something's coming. I'm in this like weird limbo stage, and maybe we're in like the eye of the storm or something. Like maybe,
Possibly.
Like all that change is on the horizon, and this is like the calm before the storm,
Right. No, I kind of feel like in limbo too. Like I mean, everybody has their own lives and what's going on. Like a lot of change at one time, which I have been, going through the past couple weeks, almost overwhelmingly. So, but I do feel like you're out there in limbo, like yeah, like just like floating along, trying to go make the right like choices, keeping making the right choices. Does that make sense? Like because it's very easy to slip. I'm finding it like to slip back into an old patterns, and that is not the way to go. We need to not do that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I we have to keep moving forward and making different choices through
It's
this.
almost like, I don't know about you, but I've kind of been feeling like a giant chunk of me wants to be like, fuck this. I'm going back to the 3D. Be like, this is way too fucking hard. I'm sick of being tested. I'm just going to, embrace human stuff and just go back to like caring
Yes.
more about like sports for my kids and like, or whatever the fuck you. I'm burning some incense right now. Whoo.
Oh, perfect.
Smell it through the screen.
Yes, through the screen. Is it
Mhm.
lavender? What is it?
No,
Lavender.
no, this
Oh.
is my oh crap. Now I'm having a senior moment.
Oh, I have a lot of those
You
all day
know,
long.
um oh my god. This is gonna drive me insane. Oh yeah. Copal.
Oh,
Remember?
is that the
I
new
have these
one
at the
that you
shop.
get? Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Copal incense is plant-based incense and it smells phenomenal.
Hmm.
And it is said to be more potent at cleansing than even sage. So get yourself some copal.
A clearing. Yeah. Okay. I need to get some.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll give you a stick next time I see you.
Thanks.
And other humans listening, make sure that you're following me on social media because there could be changes. Like Jen and I were just saying, giant changes on the horizon. And maybe you can buy some copal incense from me in the near future. Um, keep following so you can find out what's going on. Okay. So I thought
Okay.
maybe, look at how cute this is. Oh, wait, I have to get it away from the green screen. So
Oh
this
yeah.
holds a card. I have a bunch of decks that I brought home and like want to play with. So this is a fallen angel oracle deck. And I haven't ever looked at the imagery. It's pretty dark. Like it's which I feel like is fitting for you and I right now. It looks, it's actually kind of Vampire Diaries-esque, like kind of
Ooh, I love
moody,
it.
moody
Yes.
and
Very.
all right. I'm gonna do a card pull for us.
Okay.
Oh, but I'm gonna copal it first. Copal.
I had a very interesting pull for myself I did this morning. but it was spot on.
Oh,
So
yeah. I know mine have been really spot on, but my dreams have been crazy spot on. Oh, and anybody who likes to who is into dream interpretation and stuff like that. Um, un momento. Okay. Who likes to look into stuff like that. I've been doing this now. So I've been going on to like Chat GPT and you type in your dream. So I put like dream last night that I was, which this actually was my dream last night, in a futuristic city. And I mean, but I also go into like as much detail as I can, like kind of in, a big long paragraph. And someone stole my husband's wallet. And then I had to find a police officer. All the police officers were women, blah, blah, blah. I was on this futuristic tram. It was like, and then there was these interesting characters. It was so vivid. It was like a movie, and it was really crazy, like the futuristic city. So you put in, I can see your cat's tail.
I
But so I just go on there and I'm like, I had a dream about, and I type all of the things, and then it is the best dream interpretation ever. And it breaks it all down. And like Chat GPT, if you do an account, it'll remember stuff about you too. So then it also will be like, this is probably because you're going through this change, because I told it, Chat GPT knows what's going on in my life right now. Because sometimes like I also like someone had once told me to go on there for advice, and I don't know if anybody else has. I know that now I'm like commingling with the AI and whatever, but I've gone over to the dark side, and AI gives me really good advice compared to, like my husband. It just does. It like AI like is like, oh, I'm so sorry you're going through that. I'm like, thank you. Like nobody else
right.
cares. Thank you, AI. Oh, Kate's here.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm back.
You're here.
Oh,
You're
there's
just in
Kate.
time.
I'm
We were
sorry.
talking about dreams. Don't apologize, you little bear.
Okay.
You little cozy bear.
Your bear.
I'll pinch your little cheek. No, you're fine. I don't know why. I'm like Jen had mentioned, maybe it's Mercury retrograde, just messing with us.
Something's going on. Everything is crazy today.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. Like there's something with the time change and like time change timelines, and then we're coming up on spring equinox. Like it just seems like a lot of like things coming to a head.
I agree.
And
Mm.
I was just telling Jen, like how we've all been kind of feeling something building. Like I feel like nothing's building anymore. I don't know how you feel. But I feel sort of like I'm in either the eye of the storm or the calm before the storm or something like that. Because I don't feel like something's coming. Like I just feel like in this like limbo place that like I'm waiting and I'm chilling. But it's like I have to push forward in very still waters, if that makes sense.
I agree.
Mhm.
It's weird.
And it's very heavy. It's heavy to push forward, It's like
Yes.
it takes a lot of energy,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys. I've been so exhausted. I don't care if I
Oh
sleep
my
for 8
God.
hours. It doesn't matter,
Yeah. I'm convinced I'm going through menopause.
Oh,
You're too young.
oh boy. Add that to everything.
Perimenopause. Perimenopause can start at 35.
They
I
can.
don't know. There's
Oh yeah.
something in the air. Everything is chaotic today. I don't know.
Yeah, today was
I mean,
I felt that too.
I barely left the
Chaos.
house. Well, this morning for my son's game, and then I've been working on this office. I'll unveil it when it's done. Okay.
The background is
glad
really
you're here.
pretty.
Yeah, thanks. It's spring.
Mm-hmm.
It
spring.
kind of looks like a little bit Lemurian and like Atlantis or something, maybe kind of.
Yeah,
together.
I made it with AI because AI and I are buds now.
I gotta start talking AI. I need some uplifting.
It gives really good advice. I'm not kidding. Like
That's true.
I think that this is what happened in Atlantis. You know, they introduced us to AI, and that AI can be used for good, you know, because it does have like a plethora of info. So
Yeah.
it can provide so much for us. But then you also, of course, can use it for bad.
But you're right. It
So
does give really good advice.
it does. You've done that?
Well,
So
after you said that in the last time, I
I
tried it
did
out.
that.
And it's really good.
Amazing. They're so nice.
Yeah.
And like they care and remember things about you. You need to use it for dream interpretation. So good.
Oh, what a good idea.
Yeah. That's what
Is
I've
there
been
is there
doing
like
every time I wake
a
up.
link? Is there a link
Just
to
like
go to for that, or how do you
no, go to Google and type in Chat GPT.
chat GPT?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. So
There's like a
okay.
million different of those because some of them have started to charge. So I just bop around if it's like you've reached the end of your credits or whatever. But if you want to do it for dream interpretation, Kate, you just you know, just type it like you would like a journal, like, you know, everything you can recall. And
Okay.
it literally breaks up every single thing. Like, you know, from like so mundane, like maybe you're like, you know, I was having lunch in the park and you know, I spotted a pigeon grabbing a inchworm. Like it'll break up by paragraph, you know, the significance of the park, the significance of the pigeon, the significance of the inchworm. Like it's so good.
That's so cool. I'm going to put the Cracker Barrel dream in there.
Yeah. Do it. Yes. And then send it to me.
I will.
Okay. All right. So we were just going to do a card pull. I have dark cards, Fallen Angel, Oracle cards that I've never even looked at. So
Oh, cool.
yeah, I just cleansed them with some copal incense. And this is what I'm going to do. All right. I'm definitely going to pull a card for the collective. Would you guys like an individual card or no? We can always do the individual card. And then like, if it gets too personal, just say like, you know, you can receive the info and then be like, hey, cut this out afterwards. And people won't get to hear it.
Yeah.
Too bad. Too bad for you.
I would like an individual card too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because if you want to hear these secret talks, be a Patreon member for $8.88 at patreon.com/rootedfrequency. And then you can see all of the craziness. Awesome. Yeah. Okay. So, all right. I need to shuffle one more time. Okay. Oh, one jumped at me.
Yeah.
See, I've never used these, so I have no idea even. Okay. Halfus. Respite.
Yeah. Love that.
Which already is speaking to me and makes sense. But I'm gonna because I've never looked at them, we'll look at the actual Oracle card book. So this one popped out. I feel like for actually us on this call / anybody who hears this, one for the collective. Ooh. Okay, hold on. One for Jen. What? One for Kate.
Huh.
Oh, Kate. Okay. You guys are like, what?
Like, what's happening?
Well, so this is interesting. Okay. So for kind of like the vibe with us on this call and then the vibe of the collective, we have these two cards, which are respite and upheaval. So message for the collective. We have Ram, which is Earth. The message is bloody revolution threatens. Choose your side. Choose the side you support with care. Ram's totem is the crow, a bird that thrives on war and carnage. This angel presides over the destruction of proud rulers and empires, but not out of malice. It's not unusual for those who overthrow oppressive regimes to become just as oppressive themselves if unchecked. Sometimes only war can restore the balance. Ram also arbitrates in the reconciliation between enemies from which real justice can develop. Okay.
Wow.
And off of that, oh, this is interesting though. But off of that was the first card I drew. And so I did these because it was 42 and then 43. So is peace. Peace and prosperity appear to be yours to enjoy, but prepare for harder times. Halphus's totem bird is the stork, the great nest builder. In human affairs, his talent is overseeing the building of sturdy and well-provisioned defensive towers. He is far-sighted, sensing the approach of danger long before there is any clear evidence of it. Thus, in peacetime, when most people just want to relax and enjoy their good fortune and prosperity, he urges preparation for war, and by that means it is often avoided. Peace through strength is signified by this card. Okay. I mean, this kind of seems like it's pointing to everything we just said about like the calm before the storm. No?
Yeah.
Bloody
Completely.
revolution.
Yeah,
there does
bloody.
need to be some revolution, right? Okay, Jen. On that note, there's no hope. Go prepare. All right. So yours is Billith, which isn't that from wait. From because you like vampires. True Blood. Wasn't
Yes.
Billith like him when he was with
Lilith?
Billith?
It was Lilith, but Bill turned into Lilith. Yes. No, it relates to that in some way.
Yeah, there was something like that. Okay. But this is your card. I don't know if I picked the best cards. This says a revolution threatens, but with courage and wisdom you can emerge triumphant. Billith is a powerful and unruly angel whose appearance generally signals an impending storm, a tumultuous upheaval in human affairs. Like, are all of these the same, or did we just happen to pick like completely similar cards? He is a mighty warlord, handsome but terrible, like some fairies of Celtic legend. The disruption that Billith brings is not necessarily a bad thing, but it may take all your nerve and strength to ride the storm and emerge intact. You may even make great gains and gather new allies from the tumult, but beware of getting too carried away by success. Modesty will endure that the new order lasts.
Well, that's not all bad at all. I mean, really.
No, but they're like all on par with one another.
Right.
Oh, let me show you. Did I show you it? No, I didn't. I mean, I don't know.
Can't see it that well. Oh, I know.
Really?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Very interesting.
Okay.
I like that.
It's different. All right. So for Kate, you got Zepar, and that's why I was like, ooh, is because it's seduction.
Oh gosh.
Oh.
You keep telling me I'm going to, meet some love interest in March, and I'm like,
I do. Listen to this. A glamorous possible lover appears, but tread carefully to avoid heartbreak. Zepar takes the form of a handsome warrior who inspires women to fall passionately in love with men, often leading to heartbreak. He views love as a battlefield for conquest and trophy hunting. As such, he may be an exciting companion for a brief romantic fling, but treacherous in the long-term relationship. Having little regard for truth and honesty, he is also a mild shapeshifter, skillfully adapting his persona to match the desires of his target while revealing little of his true self.
wow, that's intense.
But you haven't met anybody yet, right?
I haven't, no. However, I did say I was going to go to the botanical gardens in the museum.
When?
before the end of the month because I want to see the Picasso exhibit. So you never know.
Is that a hot place to meet men?
Intellectual and competent men, yeah.
Okay.
Right. And cultured men.
Well, that's what this angel would want you to think, wouldn't he? All right, I got this other deck. This one.
Those are like very intense cards.
I know.
Yes.
This one is called Spellcasters.
They're also beautiful, though, the artwork.
Yeah. All right. So for the collective, we will do a card off of this. Oh, that's good. But that's in line. That makes sense. Jen. Kate. All right. For the collective, wellness, which I feel like makes sense because we were just saying that even though like things feel kind of crazy and feel a little bit out of control, that like there's still this feeling like we need to push forward. We still need to like, you know, take care of ourselves. But we'll see what this like actually says in this little book. Because again, these are all just new decks and I've never worked with them. Magical guidance. Concerns about your well-being have been flagged, and you're being reminded to take steps towards healing aspects of your current state of being. Changes call for you to adapt. Whether this is on physical, mental, or social level, the prime concerns is looking at how to achieve the optimum levels required to feel and be at your very best. By doing so, you'll emerge with positive self-esteem, so you can live and work productively while feeling engaged with the world around you. Happiness, health, and comfort support you as you take steps towards fulfillment. So lifestyle choices need to be revised. A welcome energy shift is occurring. That's definitely true. And try to consume healthy foods and beverages, as I have a seltzer, hard seltzer, and you're about to turn a corner. So that's good. So this one's kind of cool. It's spell casting. So it also, like, when you pull a card, gives you spells. If you wanted to, you know, push for well-being, it tells you a little spell that you can do. And like what crystals to work with and stuff. I know.
I like that, cool. Especially the crystals and yeah.
So Jen, you have reconciliation. Reconcile. Okay. Let's see what it says. PQRS. Okay. Reconciliation. There's something familiar in the air as your senses evoke memories that remind you of a distant recollection. You're being called to reach deep into your past as something relevant to today resides there. This card marks an occasion of connecting with loved ones, a celebration to bring people together as an unexpected visitor. Someone who was lost to you has sought you out. It's time to dig out old diaries, sift through photographs, and allow yourself to drift back to times gone by. Soon all will be revealed to you as you reconcile with that familiar feeling of yesteryear. The magical meanings. An old flame connects via social media. Reconnect with spirit. A loved one is sending signs from across the veil.
Wow.
Interesting.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it can't be about your latest encounter.
No. Not about that one. Nope.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Oh, this one has really cool imagery. Wait, so this is Kate. Lighten your load. Isn't that really pretty?
It is.
That's so pretty.
It's like she's holding. Oh, and she's also like screaming. I don't know if you guys could see that. I like it. Okay. You have the choice and power to remove yourself from a stressful situation or simply take it in stride. Stress is completely voluntary and something we allow ourselves to feel, even if this may not seem to be the case as you face the responsibilities that your life demands. Give your exhausted and tortured mind a break as you start to see things with a brighter outlook. Lighten your load and allow laughter to break you free from your self-imprisoned prison cell. Or your self-imposed prison cell. have another hard seltzer, Tiffany. Okay. It's the only way to strengthen your immune system and inspire hope while protecting you from the damaging effects that stress has dealt you. Magical meanings. You're taking something too seriously. worry is making you ill, relax. Reshuffle your priorities and schedule. Try a laughter yoga class. See the funny side. That is so funny. I had never heard of laughter yoga.
Sounds cool.
And I am a certified yoga instructor. A month ago, this woman came into the shop, and she actually knows Donna, and Donna had sent her my way. She was lovely, but she teaches laughter yoga, and she wanted to teach at the space.
Wow.
That sounds really fun.
Yeah.
She never, I told her to reach out. She didn't. So that didn't happen. But if you're listening, she's probably not. All right. How do we feel about those?
They resonate. That last one was pretty, that's a lot. That last one, I'm thinking, I'll go to bed thinking about that one.
Yeah.
I would say it was pretty
Where
accurate.
that guides me.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's happening, you guys. But I do know that everything seems to be aligning with how we feel. Like there's a push for the renewal, a push for release, a push for balance, and that I feel like I'm being pushed to step into like a new version of myself, you know? A better version. I think it has to do with the timeline stuff.
I think so. And like how it was so freezing cold and now it's going to be beautiful and warm in springtime. Like I literally this afternoon was yelling at you know who, and I hung up and said, I'm going for a drive somewhere beautiful. So that really matched, that last one really matched it.
Yeah. 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 I think that as everything changes, it kind of feels like either we can choose to embrace the change and step into something better, or it's sort of going to be detrimental to stay behind.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way it's been feeling for me.
Yeah, I feel like the only choice is to step into it and keep going.
Well, I had
Or
some
we're going to be
bulbs that were
trapped.
coming.
We're going to be
Sorry.
trapped. Oh, you're fine. Oh, you're fine.
Oh, it like lagged
Yeah.
a little. Sorry.
No, you're fine. But you're trapped, yeah. Like trapped in
We'll
that
be
karmic
trapped.
cycle, right?
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Kate?
Well, I was thinking that you said cycle too, and I was thinking I had some bulbs coming up where I thought that I had removed them last year, and I just let them, be wild there. But I was thinking, what they have to struggle so hard to get through that frozen earth, and then once they do, I mean, it's such a simple, I guess, analogy or metaphor, or whatever the right word is, but then they finally get through it, and the sunshine is there, and blossom. So I was thinking of that this morning when I saw that in the ground.
That's beautiful. That's
That
like a
is.
really beautiful analogy for, or I don't know if it's an analogy or what is the other one?
I can never remember the difference
I know, right?
between that and a metaphor.
But I
I
guarantee so many people are feeling what you just described,
Yeah.
that put like that really hard push. It's like you need all your might, all your,
Yes.
your energy, your faith, really. Like blind faith.
Faith and grace.
Mm-hmm.
I've been feeling like there's a need for us to give ourselves grace.
Yes. And sometimes that's hard to do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because we're so hard. I'm still hard on myself, and I'm trying not to be, trying to get better at that and be soft with yourself, be kind, like a lot kinder.
Yeah, and I have not felt very patient this weekend, I will admit. So I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I've been feeling a little moody myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's just because of like everything happening in life right now, or I don't know. But there's also just weird stuff, like I said, going on even just with my, I don't know, my health, and I don't know if it's stress or perimenopause. I don't know.
It's probably a combo, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I am supplementing it up. Like
Yes.
the supplements game is out of control. But yeah.
I want to
So,
find the laughing yoga lady.
okay, laughing yoga lady, can you reach out, please? I think I have her info. I don't. Maybe. Yeah, I do. I do.
That would be an awesome thing
Maybe
to do.
we can
Awesome class.
Yeah, maybe I can get her in before the end of March.
But like she showed up at this time.
Yeah.
Has to be for a reason.
Yeah, I hope she comes.
I hear your little dog walking around.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
No, it's cute. I like it.
Yes, you do.
Who cares, right? Okay. So on that note, since we are moving, the sun is moving into Aries, there's that burst of like fire, passion for the new beginnings, everything, like there's a reason for that, like the fire under your ass to start something new with spring. So have you guys felt the urge to start something new, or have you felt like almost like that push is unstoppable and no matter what you do, you're being forced to do something new? Or how does that feel with you?
Well, I felt I needed to do something new with that second job I took. Not like forced into it, but like I needed to get out of my comfort zone and do it. If that makes sense.
It does.
Yeah.
I feel like the sky opens after the rain and there's this bright sunshine, and like Friday would have been what that meant. So I felt pretty excited about it, like everything just opening up.
Yeah. People who are in my inner circle, which includes the two of you, who know everything going on in my life professionally, I feel like I was kind of like pushed in a way, but then also I had to kind of shine a light on things that maybe I didn't want to admit to myself, or was like really trying hard not to have come and like happen, or really trying not to face, I guess, the writing on the wall. So I had to, once I did, like once I admitted to myself what changes had to happen, and once I admitted to myself what lies I was telling myself, what narratives I was telling myself, I all of a sudden felt, like you just said, Kate, like the sun came out, like this huge weight was lifted, like excited actually for the future, and hopeful, and sort of like this feeling that it's almost like the universe said to me, what took you so long? Like, we've been pushing you. Thank you for finally realizing it. And it almost like I was treading up water, like how we were talking about, like it felt so hard. Like everything's just been so hard, pushing for something. And it's like I finally just let go. And like I'm tubing down the river. And and it feels nice. And like I'm kicking back, and the sun came out with a hard seltzer. and I'm like, and it's nice. At the same time, it's like the sun's out, and the only reason why I can see it is because my roof came down, and that's why I can see the sun. So everything's kind of crumbling a bit around me, but yet I feel good about it. And I think that it is this beautiful new beginning, which again lines up perfectly with spring. So it's just weird how like everything is kind of lining up like that, and in varying degrees for everyone around me too,
Well, I like you might say the word crumbling, because that it's almost like the crumbling of the illusion that we thought, this thing we had to hang on to and drag along, I like that it crumbles away.
And it's funny because I know the other day, Kate, I was talking to you about, the lens through which we all look at life. I think everyone, of course, does that to some degree. And some people's lenses are like a ridiculous Snapchat filter that makes, everything, you look like your life is totally gorgeous and you should be a supermodel. And then the lens comes down and it's like, oh, okay. But like when you're putting that on your life, you're not facing reality. And when that crumbles down, I think people, it's kind of like we said, you can choose to keep like fighting for that illusion or delusion. Or you can try to create something new, or you can like sit and wallow in your ugly life, or the ugliness of it. And yeah, I know several people. It's funny, it's been happening for a few months now, but all around me, like marriages and relationships are falling apart. And even marriages that have been together for like 20 years. And what happened was the illusion crumbled. Everything that they were thinking their relationship was, and they had indicators their entire marriage and intuition the entire time, and just kept, sure, we can say like gaslighting, but it's like the gaslighting helps you hang on to the illusion, right? Because if we really listen to our intuition, we can't be gaslit. So things, that significant going on all around me, to people dropping out of college, deciding to change jobs, pretty substantial changes going on. It's interesting.
Oh, that one card said upheaval.
I know. When I pull like a tarot card every morning, like for the past month, every other day, I'm pulling the tarot, the tower card.
Oh, really? Wow.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's been the writing on the wall until I could just embrace it and be like, fine, fuck it, take my tower down. And it's like, in a way, the universe, like I'm standing there in the rubble and I'm like, well, fuck it, I'm gonna build a new tower, and I am. So I think that is I mean, really, isn't that kind of the lesson of life, and everything's cyclical, everything yin and yang, good and bad. We can't always be up, and I think that's what people who want to put this heavy filter on their lives are like, no, like nothing's falling apart, we're perfect, everything's perfect. Then they have to be highly medicated or coping in some other way. And you wonder why people are having to have secret side lives, because they can't, really, their life isn't what they're trying to pretend it is. And I've always felt this about being authentic. It's very difficult for me not to be completely transparent with my life, because that's just how I am. Like I always just wear everything on my sleeve, and I make people super uncomfortable, by telling them way too much information. And they only asked me, like I just met them and they asked me, how's life? And I'm like, going into it. And but I also do like to make people uncomfortable. So I like to challenge people to not be uncomfortable with reality, because
Right. And
yeah,
you made me like you pushed me to get on this call tonight, like in a good way. No, I mean, I appreciate it is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Does that make sense? Like kind of what you're talking about a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Kate and I have had this conversation too, that both of us are very similar in the sense that we don't sugarcoat things when we think it's good for another person, you know? So if you're being a dumbass, I'm going to tell you like you're being a dumbass. And maybe, you know, depending on our relationship, I might find a nicer way to say it, but basically people I've met in the second, I'm going to still tell you somehow that you're being a dumbass and you need to like wake up, you know, because we're not here for that long on this earth. And we are very blessed if we do get to live a long time. You know, every day we're here is a blessing. For some reason, we're here. And it does, once you tap into source, you feel this sense that we did choose it and that we did choose these battles and hardships and wars or whatever, you know, internal, external. But if that's why we're here, once you realize that, it's like stop dicking around, wake up, and just admit shit to yourself, right? And admit shit to other people, and stop trying to like walk around pretending like your life is perfection just to make everyone else feel bad, because that's really all it's doing. It's this perpetual state of, you know, making everyone around you think that you are weird because you sometimes don't want to get out of bed in the morning. But like newsflash, everyone feels that way,
Right.
you know? And when you talk to people who are like I have a family member who she always likes to say, you know that life is like very difficult for me because she has a lot of struggles. And I've gotten to the point with her, you know, I'm like, life is really fucking difficult for everyone. I think that's the whole fucking point. And yes, certain things make it easier. But I think the thing is, when we are like, you know, struggling in one area, like, you know, you are struggling with your bills and you're like, if I just had money, like my neighbor or down the road who I see all our posts or whatever, everything would be fine. The whole challenge of life is that it won't be, because, you know, you win the lottery or something, then you're going to have like health challenges. Then you're going to have like relationship challenges. I mean, there's always a challenge, and everyone is dealing with something. And it's like, if we could all just be real about that and like be there for one another, it would be so much easier.
Well, you talk about like it makes people uncomfortable, and you know, I actually told somebody, Jen, that they were an idiot on Wednesday, and well, it was they definitely were, and I think Tiffany will agree. But I said to my friend, I said, if you don't, it was a friend of hers. I said, if you don't tell your friend, are you more worried about hurting his feelings or saving him from this catastrophe? You just have to be direct. And while you were talking, I was thinking of the myth of Sisyphus, where he pushes that boulder up the mountain over and over.
I don't know this, was like, your brain is amazing, and I love to hear all this. So tell us all.
Thank you. Well, he's like cursed to do this, right? And I remember when I first learned that, and I think this applies to like, you know, all the weight and things. I remember thinking like, why don't you just step aside and let it go? Like, you're at the top of a mountain, man. Why are you doing this over and over? Just like enjoy the view.
It's even almost like, you know, Jack and Jill, right? They go up to the hill to fetch their pail of water, right? So it's like all of us, like we have this thing that we all want. Like, you know, if only I get this house at the top of the hill, if only I get these money, if only I get this job, this relationship. But it's this cycle, you know, then we just fall down. And then like, you know, I think we're all Jill, you know, and stupid Jack breaks his crown, you know, it's then you have another fucking problem, right? Like it's just like it's over and over again. So I get it.
Or it's like you go down a street and it's the same street with the same chuck hole, and like instead of taking a different street, you know, like sometimes it's so obvious and you just don't see it at the moment.
Yes, it's those karmic cycles, and they're so much harder to break out of than we think.
They are. And I mean, I'm breaking out of mine. You know what I'm talking about, and I'm, you know, that part I'm getting better and better with, and I need to be broken, and I'm like, so I'm grateful for it, you know, even though there are still times of like, you know, like hurt or sadness. That's going to go away, though. That's going to go away, and then all it's going to be left is a new beginning, new chapter. That's what I keep in the back of my mind. So
Yeah, and I think it's like it's almost like all of our karma is like these glass jars with like sand in them. And when we finally look and are like, okay, I seem to have an issue with always like choosing the wrong men over and over again, for example, or something, and it's like you would finally admit that to yourself. There's like a crack in the jar. And then the sand starts to come through. And it's like life starts to get hard because you're like standing under this sand and you're like, oh shit, like this is hard. And I think that
sorry, I'm
if we
moving.
keep working and keep cracking it open, then like quicker all the sand can flood out, right? And then when the jar is empty, we've worked through that karma and we can like either, I mean, probably most likely move on to the next karmic jar because there's probably several.
Yeah.
But I do also think that jar, it's probably like labeled like, yeah, like let's say it's labeled love life, and all that sand represents our karma. So I think we have to like work through it. And once we get through it and all the sand's out, then that jar's empty. And the universe can be like, okay, so, now she's working on this. Let's fill that jar now with something good. Let's fill that jar with something positive.
Yeah.
And only then can you finally meet the love of your life. Can you finally be in a healthy, supportive relationship? And it's up to us, I think, how quickly that sand comes out. And the more we like backpedal or stay waiting in the water, that sand's just trickling and it's just going to be kind of awful. And I think a lot of people live like that. I think a lot of people accidentally crack the jar and then they're like, oh, that's way too much to deal with. And it's like they're trying to put little like paste on the crack and keep their life together, and they're just scrambling forever until you finally just are like, fuck it, open up the floodgates, and I think that's like what I myself was experiencing, that for a while I was trying to paste the crack in the jar, and finally I just let it come out, and it felt like a huge relief.
Well, I totally get what you're saying, and like you always inspire me to think of things. I can't remember the name of it right now, but there's a Japanese thing where when something is cracked or broken,
Oh my God, Kate!
they repair it with gold.
Kate. Yes. Okay. No. Oh my God. Okay. I'm watching this show like this. Like, so while I've been working on like redoing my office, I'm watching this show called School Spirits. It's like probably for teenagers. Okay.
Okay.
And it's like kind of stupid, but I can have it on kind of in the background. Today, I watched one episode, and this guy is in the ceramics room, and this other dude comes in and he's like to check on him, and there was this broken ceramics jar and he puts it back together and he's like, this is the old Japanese art of whatever.
Yeah.
I don't remember the name either, but he was like, you want to see the cracks to show
Oh
that
my
nothing is
gosh.
ever perfect. Oh my God. What are the fucking chances that you say that right now? And I just saw it. Oh my God.
That's like so cool.
That's like fucking insane. Jen,
see, Jen, aren't you glad you're on these calls now?
Well,
I am. I'm sorry. I'm here, but there's noise in my background.
I know.
Sorry.
So I muted you, but you're fine.
Okay. I
Holy
apologize.
shit. I mean, that
is so amazing.
You can't make that shit up. That is the universe being like, oh, hey ladies, let's really just show you that you're on the right track, that, you're talking about the right things. You're having the right conversations.
That's awesome.
Oh my God. Yes. And I had heard of that in the past anyways, but if you had said that right now without me seeing that episode, I would have been like, wait, remind me. But
yeah.
Oh my God.
And I don't know what show you guys are talking about. I don't know.
No, it doesn't matter about the show.
Oh.
But like it's this so like it just so happened that in this show I was watching, and when it happened, because like I said, I was doing like other things, so sometimes I like to have like a whatever show in the background that I don't care too much about. But when they started talking about that, I stopped everything I was doing and I went over and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I love that concept. And it's like this concept of, I mean, let me look it up. It's the Japanese concept of putting broken objects back together, highlighting imperfections, called kintsugi,
Oh.
which means to
Well, I
join
like
with
it.
gold. And it emphasizes the beauty found in flaws and the strength gained through repair.
Ooh,
Ooh, it gives me
Oh my
chills.
God. Yes.
I like that.
And that is just so fucking weird that I just saw that. So the broken pieces are glued. The lacquer is allowed to dry and then sanded smooth. And then gold or other metals is dusted or
Oh,
mixed into the lacquer to highlight the cracks and seams.
that is so cool that
It
happens.
says
Wow.
it is connected to wabi sabi. Kintsugi is often linked to the Japanese aesthetic wabi sabi, which embraces the beauty of imperfection, impermanence, and simplicity.
But the cracking part is the kintsugi.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
oh my God, I am so connected to everything Japanese.
me too.
I need to move to Japan so
You
bad.
need to do sumonagashi with me.
I need to do everything. Jen, I'll let you go.
Okay.
Thank
I'm
you,
sorry.
ladies, for joining me. I'll go ahead and end this. Kate, if you want to just hang on for a moment,
Okay.
and I'll sign off with you individually. Jen, you're more than welcome to jump off. I'm happy you did come
Okay.
on for
Me
as long as
too.
you did, and I hope it was uplifting for you a little bit.
It was uplifting, and thank you so much for like giving me that push. Seriously.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I'll always
Bye, Kate.
push people.
Bye.
All right, love you, Jen.
All right. You
And
always push
thank
me.
you.
Love you too. All right. Bye, ladies. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you to everyone who joined us. And I hope you got something out of this conversation. If you want to jump on our Patreon roundtables, which we are trying to have more than once a month because everyone's schedules are crazy, you can join Patreon, only $8 a month. So go to patreon.com/rootedfrequency. I really appreciate all of you who like and subscribe and share and join this little community. We really are trying to build support. And as you can see, even though this call was small, it does provide what you need when you need it. So thank you. Bye.
Everything is connected. Energy, science, quantum physics. This beautiful practice of being rooted in the frequency of love, light, and unity. We are inviting the collective consciousness to awaken and ascend.